Hey, happy Saturday. Hey, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for being here. Seems a little bit loud to me, but let me know if it's loud for you. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the stream. If you're new to the stream, welcome. Thank you for being here. We keep it pretty loose here. It's a little bit different than everywhere else, but kind of an open forum where we talk about stuff we're working on, stuff we're excited about, stuff we're struggling with, all related to tech. We try to keep it in the tech domain. But other than that, it's fair game. So if you have any questions you want to ask, or hey, PC Geek, dude, thank you so much. PC Geek, dude, 100 bits, thank you so much. Hype Train, thank you. So yeah, we keep it pretty loose, pretty lighthearted, but we dig into deep topics when we can. And yeah, we're definitely not afraid of them. Got a lot of smart people in this channel too, as well as in our Discord. If you've been here before, like I see a lot of names, thank you. Thanks for coming back. I know you guys got a lot going on. Hey. Yet again, thanks for the Prime sub. Thank you so much for spending your Prime sub on me. But for those returning viewers, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And yeah, there's a lot of activity going on. It's dark mode in here now, something I may as well mention because it's dark mode. I don't know if I've ever started on dark mode, but I have this thing called, there's this thing called channel points. You earn points by watching the stream. If you want, you can change the lights in here according to whatever you want. Well, kinda, sorta. According to the few themes I have. I don't know, I have 5, 10 themes, but you can change it to whatever you want. 1,000 points. Totally free, 100% free. You just earn them by watching. So, hey, so thank you. So anyways, yeah, we're gonna get into follows. Prime, Ezreal123 has subscribed. Prime sub, thank you so much. And Meller Bode, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it so much. Thank you. Yeah, there was more activity. I might as well call it out now. Let's see. We'll just go straight into it. So Apishar, subscribe, tier 1. Thank you so much. Stealth Hacker, Adrian Caladestino, Proper, Static 6. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Serdwick, thanks for the Prime sub. Thank you so much for spending a Prime sub on me. 18-Wheeled Ray, thank you. How's it going? Just saw you in Discord. Has resubbed. Tier 1, 3 months, 1 month streak. Thank you so much. How's it going, 18-Wheeled Ray? Mierces? I think that's sorry. I need to stop trying to pronounce things when I can't pronounce them. They just get worse. It's like bowling. My first game's always the best. It's all downhill from there. And Dosida, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. PC Geek, thanks for the bits, appreciate it, man. Caddy Can, thanks for the sub. Meller Bode, thanks for the follow, and Ezreal123, thanks for the sub, Prime sub. So yeah, if you got something you want to share, throw it in chat. We'll get to it. I start from the top, go to the bottom, and then we just do it for roughly an hour. I try to keep it to an hour. I know you guys got a lot of stuff going on. I know that, a lot of people are involved in the stream, and I just want to be conscious of everyone's time. So it's roughly an hour, and we'll stop around there. Start a little late, we'll stop a little bit late. And after that, we kind of hop into Discord after that, into voice chat. And we started this thing lately. I call it the after party. Some people call it the podcast, but we hop into Discord voice chat after that, and we just talk about stuff. Either things we didn't get to talk about or things we're interested in, or nothing at all is also fine too. So anyways, that's a lot of talking. There's more, don't worry. So anyways, I'll talk about weather. Weather here it's feeling like summer. The last week we've had a couple 100 days, and then it got cooler, then it got humid. Then it was like 90 and really dry, which was awesome here in the Midwest. Rarely happens, gets that hot and that dry. And then now it's back to humid, and it's all over the place. Summer came here a little bit early. Spring came late, summer came early. That happens a lot in Minnesota. So yeah, just gonna deal with it. I'm totally fine. I feel like my AC has been running 24/7. So, hey, Mr. Monsoon, how's it going? Mr. Monsoon, resub Prime 2 months. Thanks so much, man. How's it going? How was your pterodactyl server going? I know we were on Discord voice one night, and you were troubleshooting with Arc. I apologize I had to drop off, but it was super late. I think that was Thursday night, and I was just drained. It's either Wednesday or Thursday night, but hopefully you got it figured out. Anyway, so let's get into it. Before we talk about what you're working on, I'll just share real quick what I've been working on. The last, week, I've been working on the video you saw probably this morning, and it was kind of like a retrospective of everything I've done over the last 2 years, hardware-wise. I didn't focus on software. I might follow up with that because a lot of people say, hey, do you still use this? I usually cover that in my end of the year kind of, what services do I use? I rarely give a reason why I don't use the other thing, or if I regret, or if I want to switch off. Sometimes I do. Hey, Static 6. I think it's Static 6. I'll go with Roman numerals. I'll go with that. Subscribe, Prime sub. Thank you so much. Wow, quick after the follow. Thank you so much. But a lot of people have asked, do you still use this? Why did you choose this? And they ask it spread out across all these different videos. And some people are still asking about products I don't even use anymore because they just saw that video. So I figured, what a great time when we kick off this 100 Days of HomeLab to kind of have a retrospective of everything I've done hardware-wise over the last couple of years and just give my honest thoughts on whether I'm going to keep it or get rid of it. Hey, 4G OTK official, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. JB1 Prime sub, thanks for the Prime sub, appreciate it. And you guys like the dark mode? I like dark mode too. I like dark mode and Tokyo Nights. Those are my two favorite themes, so we're good. I said JB. I think my stuff's a little trying to get caught up. Hopefully I didn't miss one. It looks good. So anyways, I kind of did a retrospective of all the stuff, and what I learned halfway through that was, man, I should have focused in the beginning on efficiency and capacity. I did mention that, but I think that goes across the board with everything. Capacity of my switches, capacity in my rack, capacity in my drives, and efficiency in my servers, or capacity in my servers. It just keeps going on and on. The one thing I had plenty of capacity with was my disk shelf. But, it's a huge trade-off for efficiency. Don't get me wrong, the things are awesome, but they do draw a lot of power. And I'm starting to think, I've been virtualizing my TrueNAS for a long time. I'd love to get another NAS solution in there, get a little bit more compute dedicated to my NAS, and then I can maybe get 10 gig or whatever I want for it instead of virtualize it. We'll see, though. We'll see. I haven't done anything, and this is me just thinking out loud. Little maybe foreshadowing. But just me thinking out loud. So hey, IRL, Callie. Hey, Callie, how's it going? Is that the Callie from Discord? I think so. Hey, thanks for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. So let's get into it. Let's see what you guys are talking about and what you're working on. I am gonna try to figure out who was in here first. I noticed that I opened up my chat late and I had to change a couple things. I think I can see it here. Let me see if I can see it here. Ooh, it's underneath. I think it was Lickety though. I think it was Lickety. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but I think it was Lickety. Or Mafney. Oh, PC Geek says Mafney. I can't see that far back in the chat because the hype train is covering it up right now. There's like this block of hype train on my chat and it's like I can't see the first thing because it's covering it up. Can I minimize it? No, I can only maximize it. Anyways. PC Geek says Mafney. I'll go with Mafney. Lickety, close second. Thanks for being here. So let's get into chat and see what you guys are working on. Lickety Splitted, you tried my milkshake command. I thought I was gonna make it work, and I replied with banana with my bot. It's fixed. As soon as I saw you do that, I was committing code and pushing it up. So maybe it works now. We'll see. But I remember someone tried. I think it was Xavier was saying we need a milkshake command, and then I added it that night, and then yeah, there we go. It's working now. I saw that you tried it, and I was like, bug in my code. Totally copy pasta because I copied my banana command and shipped it. And then sure enough, I replied with a banana. So anyways, I committed that code while I was streaming in the beginning in the intro and pushed it up. So it looks like it's working. Whew. Okay, let's see. Mafney, PC Geek, Techno, sudo. It's so hard to read this stuff. All right, I need sudo. You do need sudo to start the stream. You do need sudo. Yeah, it's sudo. It's the sudo exclamation point start the stream. Let's see. A lot of commands. I like it. PC Geek must be public key issue. Yeah. Lickety Splitted. Sudo make me a bot. Okay. Okay. Little joking around. A lot of people in Discord hop in there and ask me to make them a bot right away. Because I have a few videos on making bots because they're fun. But right away people hop in and say, can you make me a bot? It's like, that's why I made a video so you can make a bot. So the joke now is if they say sudo make me a bot, I'll say okay. Okay, let's see here. Second, Foxcloud. I think you were a little bit later than that. Foxcloud, Callie is a great dude. I agree. If we're talking about the same Callie, I think we are. The same Callie. I think so. Let's see. PC Geek don't matter as long as you're here, though. I totally agree. Foxcloud, oh, I'm here. I'm in it to win it. Well, thank you. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Gotta change my name though. There's a lot of chit chat. I want to make sure I'm addressing things that people are asking or looking for. Whoa, diggity. Whoa, I combined a couple of terms, lickety and diggity. I like it. Diggity splitted. I'm digging this playlist today. Thanks. I do this. No one notices this, but every time I release a video with a new song in it, that becomes the first song that I play when I start. No one has ever noticed that, but I do. It's subliminal. It's like you kind of heard the song in the YouTube video. Now you're hearing it on Twitch. No one knows. Just me being weird. GCX, this music sounds something like that it fit in a modern Castlevania game. I like it. Depends on what song it was, but I think I know what song it was. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. I should add a music command so it says what's playing. Yeah, I could do that too. I used to have one that used to look up my Spotify currently playing and do it. I could do it again. Yeah, thank you guys for the hype train. I see that. VJ525, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you so much. Let's see. Flowdash, how's it going? What are your next goals for your lab? You talked about authentic LDAP. Also, what have you been using for metrics and monitoring? Have you seen used net data? Oh yeah, a lot of good questions. So I think you mentioned about authentic and LDAP was either in voice chat or in Discord, because I'm not currently using it, but I have talked about it before. I think people had brought up, having an auth provider for web services, or to put an auth proxy or really an auth provider in the middle, so you can then use auth providers to authenticate to your stuff. So what does that mean? That means that if you brought in authentic, then you can authenticate to LDAP or Active Directory, or you can authenticate to Google, or you can authenticate to any social network that they are integrated with, without you having to write that integration yourself. So that's really nice when auth providers do that, like Authentic. And so you could do that if you were like, hey, I run Active Directory at home, I want 2FA, or I want like a zero trust environment where everything goes through this proxy is authenticated. I'm going to put authentic in front of that and say that this user needs to be in this group in Active Directory in order to get to these services. You can do that. Authentic lets you do that. But it also does it for social providers and all that. And so they've done the integration. They have lots of providers configured, and you can do that. So I don't have that yet. I still use Authelia. I don't have any integration with that. I use local, and I should hand off my identity provider to a provider to someone else other than a local database. So I mean, really, I have a local identity provider within Authelia, but maybe I should switch. Maybe I should. I do use third party for other things. Google, GitHub. It's hard not to, or Twitter. But for my own services, I don't. And a lot of them are public too. So. Yeah, good question. What have I been using for metrics and monitoring? Prometheus, Grafana, Loki. So yeah, so I use Prometheus for metrics and monitoring, and then, Grafana for the metrics and visualizing it. And then for monitoring, Prometheus. And then, it depends on the monitor. So I also use Uptime Kuma for uptime checks. And those are really simple uptime checks, like, hey, are you alive? Hey, are you alive? Hey, does DNS resolve? Or hey, is this web service up? Does your health check endpoint return? And so that's what I'm using. Combination of those. I do like Uptime Kuma for the simplicity. I like Prometheus for the complexity. No, just for the richness, and because a lot of services are already instrumented with Prometheus endpoints too, so it's super nice. You don't have to do much for a lot of containers. Not all of them. And then, have I used or seen net data? Seen it, haven't used it. A lot of questions in there. Yeah, a lot of questions in there. Let's see. Takano set up Woogle yesterday and just updated one of my containers. Awesome. I don't know what Woogle is. Oh, was this the logging for all containers? Let's see. PC Geek, I could picture Tim doing night gigs as DJ for techno nightclubs. No way. I don't know how to spin. Let's see. PC Geek, although he would probably automate a lot of it with Kubernetes. Yeah, I would. That would be automated. And then it would be a boring show. 18-Wheeled Ray, what's up, y'all? How's it going? JCX Life, the track now playing isn't in Shazam. I have a playlist. I have a playlist on Spotify. Just ping me in Discord. I can share it. Lickety Splitted. Just updated my massive TrueNAS system. Awesome. Are using Core Scale. I know that Scale released a pretty big update early in the week. I think I did it Thursday. It was one of my 100 days of HomeLab that I did. I chalked it up and said, this is going to take... probably only took 15 minutes total, and that was doing the reboot dance and everything too that I have to do. But yeah, what are you running? It turned out fine. I didn't notice anything different or wrong, but it looked okay. Yep, it is Stream Beats. Yep, for sure. Harris Heller. That's it's pretty much what I use for all my stuff because one, he's a good guy, and two, his music is DMCA free. So yeah, and he's awesome. 18-wheeled Bray, how do I get my headphones to appear next to my name? How do I get them to appear next to my name? Well, after you sub, it should just automatically appear. It might take some time. It should automatically appear. They should, if you're subscribed in the channel, which you are, I believe. Yeah, you resub. So yeah, should just magically appear, hopefully soon. Extremist, trying to find a solution to convert my old Supermicro tower into a rack server running Unraid, so I need room for hard drives. Yeah, that one's tough. That one's tough. I have a 2U one down there, and then I have the 4U one that was actually in the video today, the Chenbro case. The Chenbro one is the one I recommend. Roswell also has, Roswell also has a lot of good cases too, and that's the one that I did for my Turing Pi. That's in a 2U case, but they sell 4Us as well. So those are my two recommendations. Chenbro one is awesome, but the Roswell ones are good too. Those are the only two I've always only two I've had experience with. 18-wheel ride, there it is. Never mind. It takes some time. It does take some time. Let's see. I'm gonna look for sub boss 18. Yeah, sub boss sounds good. Ezreal. That's what I'm going with. I upgraded my Proxmox from a 47070s to a Ryzen 7 1700 since my desktop got an upgrade to a 5900X. How about you? That is awesome, and that's what I usually recommend too. Is just upgrading your main machine and then your HomeLab is hand-me-down parts from your main machine. That is awesome. So you went from 4470s to Ryzen 7 1700. That is awesome. That is awesome for sure. So yeah, good day for you, I guess. Hype train, yes, thank you. Let's see, 18-wheeled Ray. I'm gonna try to conquer the Prometheus beast. I have been on for a few days now. I hear you. It's tough. And I've if you've seen my 100 days from HomeLab updates, I think the last 4 days, not today, because I kind of put it in the backlog, is my logs disappeared for Loki, which sucks. It's no other good way to put it. Something's going on, and I haven't been able to track it down yet. Honestly, I haven't been able to spend like a focused 45 minutes on this to actually dig in and figure out what's going on. But I'll agree with that sentiment that Prometheus is hard to configure. It's hard, especially hard in Kubernetes, and just in general. You know, there isn't really an easy button, and there are so many ways to do it too. It's challenging for sure. Once you get it going, though, it's awesome. But then your next challenge becomes Grafana, and getting Grafana, you know, up and configured and looking the way you want to. And then the next challenge becomes Alert Manager, not trying to dissuade you or anything from doing it, but then a lot of things are based off Prometheus. So once you get that working, then it's like, okay, Grafana to visualize it, Alert Manager to alert you, and then you're good, unless it breaks. No, but I agree. It is tough, but it's awesome. It's awesome once you get it going. Mellerbode. Oh, wow. So cool. Look in the back. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on back there. I keep switching it up a little bit, but we'll see. I don't know. You're welcome. Let me see. 18-wheel rate. No problem, man. Keep the good content coming. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the sub again. JCX Life, made it this week. Yes, you did. You were sick last week, I think. Someone, Crack Kitty, I think, relayed a message. Like day 14 of HomeLab Challenge. Nice, 14. I think you are one day ahead of me, which was the actual first day of it. But I started the next day because I had a lot going on. Accidentally learned how to hot swap CPUs and memory in Proxmox. Wait, hot swap? Oh, you with a virtual machine. I'm like, if you take it out, how does it still work? But I see what you mean. I still haven't moved on with TrueNAS yet, LOL. Yeah, I hear you. I got some amazing new headphones today. Falling back in love with music. That is awesome. Yeah, good headphones go a long way. Good headphones go a long way. I used to have decent pairs, but now I end up on these because I'm on Zoom calls or streaming quite a bit. So I miss the days of good headphones. Now I got a Bluetooth set that I really like, but definitely not super high quality. And I have these, which I really like, but not super high quality. It is awesome what a decent pair of headphones will do to music, for sure. And an amplifier or a digital audio DAC, and also audio DAC, not the other DAC. G6 Life, dark mode, obviously the best. Yeah, a lot of people like dark mode. I'm cool with it too. PC Geek, I made you start in the dark mode. Yeah, hello. You did. I saw it come in, and you were doing it just as I was testing some other things. I'm like, did I just do that? And I was like, nope, I saw it in chat. Mellerbode, do you have a pole dancing theme? Pick your color. If I, this is getting weird. If I had to choose one of the themes and say which one would be the pole dancing theme, I don't know what it would be, but it'd probably be something with the Hawaiian sunset. We'll see. No, I don't know. I don't have one, but I'll keep it in mind. GCX Life, do you have it's not this theme, not light mode for sure. You'd see way too much. Do you have a new chat box? I do. I upgraded or swapped out last week while you were out. I did, just so that, for a lot of reasons. But yeah, I went back to, this is like my original chat box. I keep changing it up. This one is less clutter. Totally automatic. I don't need to touch it nor worry about it going static. Let's see, JCX Life, it's no longer the Twitch one. No, it's not. It's not. Let's see. Aprishar. Oh, 18-wheel Ray, famous last words, like, yeah, it is. And even we were talking about this in Discord earlier. So the reference is when I said, yeah, famous last words, when I was like, I just wish I had 6 more U in my rack. Because I really do. but then if I add 6 more U and I fill that up with something, I would say the same thing. And this goes back to the whole reason why I was like, I'm going to get I'm going to get an 18U rack and stick with it. See, I'm already saying 24U. But I was, I didn't want to do this. I thought, okay, my long-term plan is get slim servers, 1 U's, at the most 2 U's. I didn't even think about a disk shelf. I thought at most, I'll build a NAS with, that's 2U, it'll be fine. And no, that didn't all work out. So I was going for super high density, but I do wish I had 6 more U. I wish I had 6 more U, yeah. So anyways, I was saying like, okay, well then if I had 24 and I ran out, it would say the same thing. And where does it end? But I really think I did underbuy. I still think it was good in practice to say, I'm not gonna just, keep loading in servers just because and have it just become a graveyard. I wanted them to all be active. And that's why I take things out, except for the Cisco switch that I've been storing it there forever because I can't even give it away. But and nothing against the company, it's that switch, it's so old. But other than that, I don't like to keep things in there that aren't used. So I just don't want it to be a graveyard. Aprishar, I saw Tim's video and saw he needed to upgrade a few things. So if you are able, those things cost money. Yeah, they do. They cost money and real money. So yeah, my next step up from some of my current solutions is real money and real money. And someone asked this too, and I should say it here. Someone asked in the video, like, oh, hey, how much did this cost you and how much was free? Everything you see in that rack, I paid for with my own money. So none of that was gifted or none of that was sponsored. Like all that stuff is stuff I bought with my own money. And, I'm relatively frugal. I feel like saying, oh, I have a big server rack, but saying I'm frugal at the same time it seems like an oxymoron. But in general, I try to get the best deal for myself because it is my own money. So anyways, long story short, everything you see in there is stuff I bought myself. So every time I go to purchase something, I think long and hard about it, like way too much about it. I look at reviews, I look at good reviews, bad reviews, I do price comparisons, I try every single possible checkout code for a discount I can possible before I check out, even though I know none of those codes work. But yeah, they do cost real money. The next upgrade up, especially when it comes to that switch, pretty expensive. But I'm looking at it, this is my 5 to 6 to 7 year switch, if not more, as long as I keep getting firmware updates. And the same with my NAS. It's pretty critical, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, I got by for a while virtualizing it, and I got a cheap disk shelf for like $250, less than $250. Besides the card and the cable, you know, that's all I have invested in my NAS for like 3 years. That's pretty good, pretty good. And because I was virtualizing it, you know, I just basically got to share that hardware with my one-use server. So, but now I think it might be time. We'll see, to go physical with a real device. We'll see. That's what she said. Yeah. Oh, let's see. IRL Cali, JCX is officially awesome for dark mode. I agree. Crack Kitty, hi Tim, happy Saturday. No time for HomeLab this week. Just here to listen. Crack Kitty, how's it going? Good to see you. Crack Kitty, if you don't know Crack Kitty, a great member of the community. He is a VLAN guru. He's a resident VLAN guru. What's the level higher that they say? He's a distinguished. Yeah, he's distinguished VLAN engineer. That's what I'm gonna go with. We also call him the VLAN Whisperer. But if you know Crack Kitty, great at VLANs. You have any questions, definitely send him his way. But he looks like he's out and just listening. So maybe you'll have to phone those in. Maybe just, you know, tag him in Discord. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to tag him. But great member. How's it going, man? Callie, only one issue I'm having problems with is Proxmox in general. Talk about the headaches. Well, what's the problems? Proxmox for me has been generally stable. It's when I try to do things that are, you know, a little bit off the books or out in the weeds a little bit. But other than that, it's been pretty stable for me. I use it I don't want to say 100% out of the box because I've done some modifications to be able to pass through video cards. And, you know, I pass through devices to some of my virtual machines. But it's been rock solid for me ever since 6-ish. Ever since they had the new version of 6, it's just been, I don't even think twice now applying updates. Midday, sure, I'll apply them. Whereas prior to 6, it was a little bit rocky, I felt like, but let me know. PC Geek, wicked hot here in 86. Oh, wicked hot. I could tell you're around Boston. Wicked. I knew that was. Static 6. So question, should I run Pi-hole in a Docker or a Raspberry Pi? I have a spare Pi, but also no Dockers running on my TrueNAS. So, just wondering what works best and fastest. This one's tough. If you want the super duper easy button, I'd say run it in a Raspberry Pi. It's straightforward. You run a Raspberry Pi, has a dedicated IP address. There's no fancy Docker networking. You don't have to worry about, you know, resolve.conf or anything accidentally getting added to your Docker networking, and you're good to go. Especially if it doesn't have anything to do right now, you're good to go. For simplicity, and since you have an extra Pi, I'd say go that route. For all the things I listed, as well as not having to do some of the things I listed. If you containerize it, you got to worry about Docker networking, port forwarding, opening ports. And then if you're putting in TrueNAS, not that that's not a good solution, you know, then you have to make those changes in TrueNAS. And then you also, if TrueNAS is down, then your DNS is down. So you got to have something else up somewhere else for DNS just in case your TrueNAS goes down. So, you know, DNS is a pretty critical task of your network, of your environment. As you guys all know, if DNS goes down, you really can't do anything except for stuff with IP addresses. So, and especially if you have the Raspberry Pi just laying around, I think that's a great use of Raspberry Pi because it takes very, very minimal resources. You know, it just takes a little bit of RAM, you know, and a little bit of disk, and it's pretty good. So, anyways, I mean, but if you want to tinker and figure it out in Docker, absolutely do it. I did it that way for a long time. I did it on a Pi, I did it in Docker, I did it in Kubernetes, I've done it on virtual machines, so I've done it everywhere. So, but yeah, it's you got the Pi and that's not being used. I'd say that's the easy button. Or why not both? You know, if you only have one DNS, have one be primary and secondary. You know, have one in Docker be your secondary, have your primary one be, you know, or vice versa. Have it be in Docker, the one in Docker be your primary, and so if you reboot your TrueNAS, you still got your secondary up. Why not both? Why not both? Make it as complicated as possible like I do, and then, you know, throw keep alive D in there and add load balancers. Start simple and stay simple. JCX, I couldn't join the stream last week because I was ill. Crack Kitty told me. Wouldn't have been able to deal with a fight over the lights. Giggle, yeah. Yeah, light fights, they happen. It's real. It's real. It's a real thing here sometimes. Static 6. It is first person to try to say it correctly. I can't even pronounce or speak that. I can't read. I cannot read. Oh, come on. The only job I have to do here on Twitch is read. First person to say it correctly. It's a car reference. Oh, thank you. Yeah, give it away that it was uppercase. So I thought it was Roman numerals. So awesome, I got it. Usually I am so bad. There was a name last week that I got wrong for half the stream, and then I realized, oh, it's past tense. And anyways, 4K, got it. Official. Yo, what's up? Thank you. Thank you right there. Just call me 4K because I was throwing a G in there. 4K, what's up? Static 6, I run it in a VM or in a Pi. I had some issues with Docker approach. Yeah, it does get challenging, like the things I mentioned and the things I ran into in my video. Extremist, it just really depends on your resources. It acts the same either way. If you want to save the Raspberry Pi for something else, then use Docker. Yeah, great point too, because there are a billion things you can do with the Raspberry Pi. You know, and if your platform going forward is Docker for most things, yeah, throw it all in Docker. I'm a huge fan of that, as I do with Kubernetes, as I do with Docker. You know, my very last resort is bare metal. My resort before that is a hypervisor or a virtual machine. My resort before that is Docker. And then my first resort, I try at least, is Kubernetes. So I have this tiered approach. Will it work in Kubernetes? Does it make sense? No. Yes, no. Is it hard? Yes, no. You know, I do that evaluation for every step along the way. Kubernetes, Docker, virtual machine, bare metal. And so that's kind of what I do every time I think about a new service. 18 wheel rate, dark mode, where? It's in the lights. I think it's in the light bulb. Let me look. It's in the little orb. You have channel points, and then from there you can choose one once you get 1,000. Channel points, thank you. Naroku. Naroku. There we go. I'm working on Ansible following your video. Awesome. Got a little frustrated. It's giving me some errors, so I'm working through that. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when the tooling gives you errors, because sometimes sometimes you just want to get things done, but the tooling gives you errors, and then so you get frustrated at the tooling when then you can't do the thing you came to do. So let me know in Discord. I could try to help out. What's that? Inguing. That's what I'm going with. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you so much. PC Geek on PC, just below chat. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for helping him find it. The lights are currently in dark mode. You can spend points and you get for watching them. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, oh yeah, don't waste points if it's already in the mode you want. Actually, I think if it's already in the mode you want, I turn them back on kind of and then set it back so you know something happened, but not a great use of points. Ampershar, you can use one of those dish shelves for your coffee cup. Yeah, I could use it for quite a few coffee cups, yeah. Or coffee table, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I don't mean to dig at it. Like, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome. It's fantastic. It works great. That is bright. But it uses a little bit more power, and it uses quite a few spaces in my rack. And so, as I move on and grow, I think I want to try something else. Doesn't mean it's a piece of garbage or I'm gonna throw it away. No, I'm gonna either sell it or give it to someone who wants to use it. Just like my Dell R710. Someone noticed, like, hey, that gap in your rack used to be your Dell R710. I was like, wow, you remember? I barely remember what was there. And it was, and it's not that I don't think they're good machines. I think they're great machines, but, I wanted something a little more efficient. And I needed 2 of something, and I didn't want 2 R710s just for availability and stuff like that for my cluster. So anyways, I ended up selling that to some young guy who's very interested in home labbing and just getting started here in the Twin Cities. And so it was like a win-win. I broke even on it. And he got a server that was maxed out that I took good care of, and it's going to a good home. So, so yeah. So I think I feel like it's a win-win. Win-win. Let's see. That's the Cali. Hello. All right. It is the Cali. Ira Cali is the Cali. All right. Let's see. Static 6. I was thinking, or this is Static 6. Yeah, I was thinking about making a RetroPie, but my NAS has a 10 gigabit NIC, so I don't have a 10 gigabit network. So yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Proxmox, and how draining it is. Draining. I think it's okay. Let me know what you're having problems with, for sure. 4K. I was here from the last year. Connection wasn't great. Not sure. Oh, there's my milkshake. All right, let's see. JCX Life, perfectly acceptable way to ship stuff for production. Copy something that works. Yeah, I agree. Copy something that works. And then you end up in copy pasta land like I do. I'm like, yep, copy and paste code works great. You run it and you're like, oh, that's not the right thing. A guy I work with basically said, he would always tell me like copying and pasting is like the worst thing you could do. And it's not that he thought that, that taking advantage of something you've already done wasn't good. You say, no, that's great. Just type it again so you can think about it, unless it's a block of like 500 lines of code. And it was really to protect against this same thing. Like I copied a block of code and I was like, yep, this works. Pasted it in, ship it. Nope, it doesn't work. So he would always tell me that like copy and paste is your worst enemy. And like I said, not because it doesn't save you time, but it might not save you time, as you can see. Yeah. Oh, wait, did I? No, it was boys. No, it's from the song, the milkshake song. Let's see. Do you know what camera is currently using? Callie, it's A6400. It's on my, if you do exclamation point gear, you'll see all my gear. From there, you'll see like my current setup. It's an A6400. It's working out great. Been using it for a while. Like I upgraded this, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago when I was like, okay, I think I hit 10,000 subs. And I was like, okay, like this might work. So I'm just not going to use my photography camera anymore. I'm going to upgrade it and use this one. And so it's been working out. I've been considering upgrading this one now, but now I'm doing 4K now when I can. It's pretty much been ever since I hit 100K. I'm going to try to stick with 4K. Gets kind of tough sometimes, but this one does 4K. So it was easy. I just had to change some settings. So, but there are other cameras that are really nice that I keep eyeing too. Brazil buddy, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Let's see. Need to set up Pi-hole first. Alfie Trust. Did he say anything else? No. Need to set up Pi-hole first. Make me a bot. No, sudo make me a bot. Okay. Takano trying to troll with his password. I know that's not his real password. Actually, one time I think he did paste in his password. But that is a pretty good password, I would say. Complexity is good. Special characters are good. It doesn't spell anything, doesn't have your name in it, and it's pretty long. Could be longer, but could be longer. Let's see. J6 Life, but I don't need you to make me a bot. I wrote my own for IRC on top of Eggdrop using TCL and SQLite. Nice. Yeah, I think we talked about this before. You were talking about TCL and VS Code support for it, and it wasn't great, or it was an older version. VJ, here we go. Roses are red, violets are blue. HomeLab, you say. VJ follows you. All right, I'll say it some more. Maybe I'll get some more follows. Thank you. I like that poem. We are all weird, dude. Yeah, I agree. We are all weird for sure. I've been weird my whole life. Chicano, yeah, may not be my real password. It's a little joke. Yeah, for sure. I got it. On some of his videos, you can even see my passwords in the end of chat. Yeah, he does. I think the first time you accidentally did it, though. And then from there on, it's been rate my password. J6 Life, it'd be great if they added Hunter 2 to be a monkey emote, and that a codebot reacts with the messages. That'd be fun. Let's see. Let's look for Takano. Woogle. Woogle's a self-hosted search engine. I figured it was. Proxy, which strips out all the tracking from Google's search. Oh, interesting. Strips out the tracking. Well, Google does a lot of tracking. I know it probably strips out cookies and things about your browser to kind of anonymize you, but then it's still going through your IP address, which is another way that, services can track you. I'll have to look into it. It sounds interesting for sure. I am curious. They'll still know your IP address unless you're then proxying from there through VPN or something else. And now I'm like, okay, this sounds awesome. Sounds interesting for sure. ISO, a Titan is known for defying the gods. All right, I like it. Lickety splitted, updated TrueNAS Core to latest 12 version. Nothing broken yet. Awesome. Yeah, I saw they released the 12 for Core, and then Scale, they released a minor version, I think, for it earlier this week. Picano, my name on Discord no longer shows my Twitch sub, so rank, I think I lost it for a week now. It should reconnect if it didn't lapse. If it doesn't, I'll look at it again to make sure. But I think there's a 1 day grace period or something, and I don't know. We can look at it though for sure in Discord. PC Geek, I'm still running Core 12. Haven't pursued moving to Scale. Yeah, it depends on what you want to do. I mean, Core is rock solid. Rock solid for sure. Abdrum. How are you doing? What tech stack is your most favorite, and what tech stack did you get started with? Abdurham, let me grab a drink. What tech stack? I wonder if you mean in like development or just in general, because there's so many stacks. I assume you mean development, so I'll talk about that a little bit. What tech stack did I get started with in development? It depends. It depends. I started developing software outside of work first, and I was writing mobile apps. Actually, I wrote a Windows Phone app, which was interesting, but it taught me how to use C#. It taught me how to use different aspects of .NET. And so it was pretty interesting. But then, so I was doing that outside of work, and I was doing infrastructure for work, and then I ended up position open at work, and the place that I worked at the time, and they were looking for a developer, and I'd say, hey, I'd love to do it. I build these apps outside of work. Maybe, if you guys don't mind, carrying me for a little bit, I'd love to learn. And that's how it all started. So, there it was a .NET shop. So big Microsoft shop. I did a lot of .NET, a lot of C#, a lot of VB. And then, went on from there. And then I worked for other companies. I've done Java, I've done Kotlin, now I do a ton of TypeScript, JavaScript, and you name it. So yeah, I guess I would say my stack initially was a Microsoft stack. It was a .NET stack. But now it's pretty much an open source stack. It is pretty much everything is open source. And most of what I do is a lot of TypeScript. So a lot of JavaScript too. I'd say they're about 50-50. Miami Bob, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Let's see. I haven't. Ticano, I haven't. You guys are figuring that out. Let's see. Grafana. Let's see. 4K. Grafana sounds like a crypto coin name. No, Grafana is a real thing. Grafana is a real thing. And you spelled it exactly how I thought it was spelled for a long time, but it's with an F. It always throws me off. That's the one where I have to think twice about it. Let's see. Callie, ever thought about running a CarLab? Ooh, it's funny you mention this. I'm experimenting with the Raspberry Pis right now, looking for a micro PC, and I wanted to be able to have internet as well as offline music maps and stuff. Maybe I can use it as a secondary backup. Funny you mention this. And it's funny you call it CarLab, because when I was growing up and I first had a car and I had a computer at home, I always wanted a computer in my car. I didn't call it a car lab, I called it a carputer. A carputer is what I always said. Even my wife is still like, maybe one day you'll get a carputer. She still remembers it. My weird terms. And so I always thought about that. I was like, one day I'll be able to do this, and I'll put a computer in my trunk and run cables up and get a touch screen. But then car manufacturers had their meat hooks in everything in your entertainment system. It was info and entertainment and climate and temperature. So I was like, okay, well, I can't do this easily because I still need their stuff there to be able to control the climate. And I'm not an electrical engineer. I can't figure all this stuff out. Anyways, things have progressed a lot since then. You know, if you look at CarPlay or Android Auto, like, you know, they're allowing certain manufacturers to do certain things. It would be awesome if there was an open one that also worked, that, you know, you could have a Raspberry Pi and customize yourself. Sounds kind of scary, but sounds kind of awesome at the same time. So, you know, it would be great if auto manufacturers, if a product would exist that were open, that it would allow you to connect your car to it. Maybe it does, haven't looked into it, but then that car manufacturers would also support, you know, and, you know, I use CarPlay in my car. I have wireless CarPlay or plug a cable in, and it just works. Same with Android Auto. Plug it in or do it wirelessly. It just works, and it's awesome. And maybe there's an open standard for one day. So it sounds awesome. I've always been interested in this for sure. And like I said, I've called it a car computer for a long time. But maybe I'll start calling it a CarLab. I might get pulled over though if I tell people, hey, I got a lab in the car. They'll be like, sir, can you step out of the car, please? It does sound awesome. I've been interested in this for probably 15, 20 years, and I feel like we're getting closer. But then at the same time, I feel like we're getting further away when, you know, most car manufacturers are only supporting 2 right now or embedded, you know. So it's tough. It sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. Do you usually, Abdurham, do you usually tool the apps you develop for monitoring with Prometheus? Not the app itself. So yeah, so when I build apps, it just depends. So on the services, the backend services, yes. Yeah, I do, because that's how I monitor backend services. I monitor them a few ways, either Kubernetes health checks, and then if they're public services, I'll even throw Uptime Kuma on them. But yes, Prometheus too, and then Alert Manager to let me know if they're not working. I have too many alerts set up. But on the client side, I usually, I don't, is probably controversial. A lot of people call it tracking. Other people call it metrics, and some call it telemetry. Choose your word. You put one of those on there to let you know if something's wrong with the app. If the app throws an error, the app can't communicate with services. So you can kind of do it on 2 sides. And a lot of people on those apps, use a third-party service to do that, because if your service is down, that also collects the monitoring or metrics or tracking or telemetry, whatever you want to call it. It can't tell you that it's down because your service is down. So a lot of people use, Google Analytics or Firebase or Sentry, or a lot of those other tools are Crash. I forget. There's another one. For those, so that they can know. So a lot of people separate those, but then some people combine them too, and they say, okay, well, I'm going to send metrics to, Firebase as well as back to our metrics endpoint. So a lot of ways to do it. But yeah, your services, however you monitor your services, you want to monitor those the same way. And then your apps, if you are deploying those apps and they're out in the wild, out in the app store, you're going to want to send some signal somewhere to let you know if that app is crashing. Obviously, Android App Store and iOS App Store are going to tell you, but you want an earlier signal than that. And plus, you want a good stack trace, or plus you want to know ahead of time too. So a lot of ways to do it. I'm a fan of Sentry. I've been using Sentry for a little while with some of my stuff, and it's pretty good. It's pretty awesome. Takano, just seeing it's fixed. All right. VJ25, I recently made a project that generates new music using LSTM neural nets. Fun times. Oh, interesting. So it generates music for you. I like this. I like where this is going. Yeah, it seems. Does it sound cool? I would love to hear some of this. Procedurally generated or AI generated. It sounds pretty cool. Let's see. Pole dancing. No, there is not a pole dancing theme. Thoughts on IPv6 adoption? Okay, so the next one. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm not adopting it anytime soon. I know some people are. I don't plan on doing IPv6 in my internal network anytime soon. Because to me, at the end of the day, it doesn't buy me much that I'm looking for. So, and I'd rather not take that on as just like, hey, I'm on IPv6 now, but not taking advantage of any of the stuff that I get with it. So yeah, I don't have an answer for that. I don't have a strong opinion. I know that IPv4 works for me great here in my network. And I know a lot of people are, hey, Xavius, dude, thank you. 101 bits. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And Outrun Gandalf. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. So anyways, I don't have strong opinions for or against it. I just don't want to take on that conversion here for my stuff if I don't need to. IPv4 for me internally is working great, working great. But it's not to say that there isn't a need or a use case for it, for sure. C Diablo. I have a question about Kubernetes. I was trying to get HPA working, so horizontal pod auto scaling, without a deployment. Oh, without a deployment. Is this possible? I only need pods. Anyone know if this is possible? Horizontal, I don't think you can, because the HPA, I thought the HPA stuff was part of the deployment spec. It was part of the deployment spec and not part of the pod spec. So I think in your manifest, you have a spec for the deployment, and then you have your containers or your pods spec. I thought that HPA belonged to there. I don't know if it is possible. I'm trying to think like how that would even work. Like, I get it, you can create pods outside of a deployment, but why not just create a deployment then while you're at it? I don't know if it's possible, but I thought that HPA, the horizontal pod auto scaling, was part of the deployment spec, but I could be wrong. I'd have to look. I don't know if it's possible, but yeah, good question. We can figure that out later. Techno Tim, what made you go with Proxmox and not ESXi? This is my first time using Proxmox, and I'll say it's snappy compared to ESXi. Oh, you just answered it right there. No. This comes up a lot. I've done everything from Hyper-V to ESXi. I've just done so many hypervisors. And I think the last thing that got me was, ESXi had started charging or putting more caps into place, I think with version 6, where they said, you're going to be capped to 4 cores. At the time, I had an 8-core machine with 16 threads, and I was like, I don't want to assign just 4 cores to all my VMs. Like, it'll work, but I just kind of wanted something that was open, I guess I would say. And also at the time too, I had a NIC that wasn't supported. In every major release of ESXi, they were dropping support for older hardware. I get it. They can't maintain drivers and stuff for legacy stuff forever. And then that's when I was just like, okay, I'm gonna look for something else. And then I had a short list of requirements for my hypervisor of the future, and Proxmox fit all of those. So I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna use. So yeah, nothing against ESXi. I just didn't have the money to pay for it at the time. I even if I did, they were dropping support for both CPUs and NICs that I used. And so I was like, well, I can't, I'm not going to upgrade all of my hardware or be stuck on this old version of a hypervisor. So, but I know it's an industry standard. It's fantastic. And I think it's actually super performant too. Lightning fast. I remember. And one of the things I miss about it most is being able to auto start VMs once the agent says that it's fully ready, which I wish Proxmox would do at some time. If I knew more about their code and how things work, I would try to open a pull request, but I'm sure it's a lot of work. Not that I'm against a lot of work, but I wouldn't want to just open a pull request on something I've never even looked at before. But I really wish, on Proxmox, they had that feature. And the feature was, have a staggered start of all your virtual machines. Basically set them all to auto. Once the agent comes up, the QEMU guest agent on VMware, it's their agent, but once that came up, it would report to the server and say, I'm up and I'm healthy, and the next one would start. And it was great. Then you could just say, auto start them all, and you knew it was past that. It was past the whole, boot up storm. And I know you can, in Proxmox, you can stagger them yourself and say, 15 to 30 seconds, they should be good, by then, so I'll just do it. But it was so great in ESXi because it was just like, okay, just automatically do it for me. When the client checks in, launch the next. And so that was great. And there are lots of features like that ESXi has, and it's fantastic. So nothing against him. I just use this for now. And I not that I'm cheap, but it's kind of expensive for me to buy that license for 3 machines for my home lab. So let's see. Extremist, have you ever heard of MOBA X term? Best Swiss Army knife tool for any IT engineer, has every tool you can think of built into it. I have not. MOBA X term, I have not. I'll have to look into it. That's a pretty tall order right there. Every tool you can think of. I'll look into it though. I'm all about Swiss Army knife tools to help me out. Light Mo crying. I totally agree. I totally agree. Aperture. He loves it too. Okay, Aperture. I'm in the dark about this one. In dark mode about this one. Are you still trying to make Minio work in your cluster, Clay Crusher? I already have it working. So I think you're referring back to, I think a while ago, maybe in Discord, I was talking about possibly using an operator and bringing Minio into my Kubernetes cluster so that I could use it that way. I still haven't done it. I've chickened out. So I have Minio working. I don't run it in a cluster. Maybe I should, but it's in my TrueNAS because TrueNAS has first-class support for Minio. And if you don't know what Minio is or MinIO, it's S3 storage made popular by Amazon. S3 compatible, I should say. But I just call everything now S3 for storage, even Google stuff, because it's like Kleenex now. It's object storage, but then people are like, "What?" And you're like S3, and they're like, "Oh." But then if I say Google Cloud Storage or GCS, you don't have no idea what I'm talking about unless I say it's like S3. So now I just say S3 and Google Cloud. Anyways, Minio is that same approach. It has a same API. It's compliant with S3 with AWS, except for you could do it self-hosted and it's open source. And so I don't have mine clustered yet. Still running on TrueNAS, which is super nice. I just had to tick a box and choose, a data set, and I put it there and it works. And I don't have to figure out backups and all this other stuff. That's why I love using TrueNAS too, because I create a data set and I back that data set up over time, and then that gets moved somewhere else. And it's like I didn't have to figure all that out. I have to figure it out if I do Docker only. But if I move it to Kubernetes, I don't have to figure that out again because I have a process in place for all my stuff. So anyways, I didn't do it yet. But I would love to. I would love to do that with a couple of things. I would love to do it with Redis. I would love to do it with Mongo, Postgres, and MinIO. I would like to have them all clustered inside of Kubernetes. And that would be scary, but awesome at the same time. Callie, get a 42U rack like I got. I know. I honestly can't at this house. If I had a different house and I could put it somewhere on the main floor, I would, but I'm not going to put a 42U rack in the basement of this house. We have kind of low ceilings, and even if we didn't, it'd be hard to get in and out of the house, especially the way our stairs are turned. So I would love to, but I can't. Aperture, use it every day, so this is the MOBA X term. I got to check it out. 4K, light mode looks kind of like paradise rooms in movies. I want to be in a paradise room. JCX, if you can get 6 more you, does that mean you can get 6 more me? I get it. I like it. 18-wheeled Ray, dying laughing over here, thinking you are close to the black hole. Let's see. Alfie Truss, why not do what Linus did and get a neon pink 48U rack? Yeah, that thing sticks out like a sore thumb. I think that's what he's going for. I don't know. I'd do it. I'd do it if I had the room. But at the same time, that's where I kind of get like, I get iffy about that stuff because I don't like a lot of empty space in it. And then I feel like I have to fill it. But what am I going to fill it with? And so I end up in this conundrum of hey, the feng shui of my rack is off because it's empty, but I don't want to fill it because, I don't want to put, I don't want it to be a graveyard for stuff. And so, I'm getting anxious thinking about it. But yeah, the neon pink is awesome. You see it in his videos. Let's see. It's fine. Wouldn't know how to fill it. Snart. Yeah, I wouldn't. I honestly wouldn't if I had that much space. Although he would tell you to buy one from a sponsor because you need it. Yeah. No, they do sell servers for sure. Absolutely. He'll find more stuff to fill with it. I know I would. Let's see. I'm gonna look for what time. Oh, I went over a little bit already today. All right, I'm gonna look for mentions or questions. Techno Tim, just got my new server set up with Proxmox. Awesome. Followed your guide for reverse proxying SSL internally. Amazing. Works first time. Thanks a lot. Hey, that is awesome. Brandon, it's Brandon. That is awesome. That is great news. That is great news because usually I hear about all the ones that don't work, which is a lot. But I know when it comes to support or technology in general, no news is good news. But I usually hear the bad news. I usually hear the bad news about all my videos. this didn't work. I'm stuck here. How does this work? Why did you do this? Which isn't bad news. And I try to follow up to all those things. So thanks for sharing. I'm glad you got it working. And that's pretty amazing. You got it working on the first try. That's like I say, most people, when they get through that tutorial, deserve a badge. But since you got it on the first try, you deserve like a badge and a pin and a hat, I think. Anyways, congratulations. That's awesome. Now you can have, certificates internally and do what you want with them. So that's awesome. All right. Gonna look for mentions or questions that I know where you're looking for something from me, because I just want to make sure that you are. I'm scrolling faster. All right. I'm gonna call it. Callie, last one. So there are racks out there that you can build that are 42U enclosed. Thankfully, my HP is one that I can tear down when I need to move. Look into it. If you need a recommendation on what server racks allow that, I can give one. Yeah, throw it in Discord. I'd love to see it. Still low, like 42. I feel like, yeah, now what am I going to fill it with? And maybe that's okay. But then I'll end up hanging on to all the old stuff. I sold my Dell R710 because I needed space. If I replace my disk shelf, I'll sell it because I need space. But if I don't need space, I won't sell stuff. So, and then I'll hang on to it until it's not worth anything anymore. Not like I want to make money off of it, but you know how that goes. So anyways, I don't know. I'm so torn. And like I said, when I started out with the 18U, I was very specific about what my intentions were. I will not grow more than this 18U. So we'll see. We'll see if I can stick to that. Anyways, hey, man, thank you guys all for showing up. Absolutely. This stream was fantastic. Thanks for being here. Thanks for throwing all your questions. Something we've been doing lately is hopping into Discord voice chat afterwards. I call it the after party. Some call it the podcast. And we just shoot the breeze about what's going on, what we're working on. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here in about 5 minutes after the stream. Just need to grab some water. And then I'll hop in there. If you're not a member of our Discord community, you should absolutely be in our Discord. It's pretty awesome. A lot of the people you see in here are in Discord and vice versa. But there's also a lot of people that aren't. I think we just hit 7,000 members. 7,000 members, I think, last week, which is crazy. Blows my mind. Totally blows my mind. And I say this a lot, but I can remember when it was just me and the bot and me testing the bot thinking, yeah, when people get here, this is how, this is the bot that will, do whatever, all kinds of stuff. And it's crazy how much it's grown. It's grown so much that even Discord believes in us because we got partnered. So yeah, pretty awesome. If you want to join, absolutely join. There's no pressure. Low pings, maybe once every 2 weeks, if that, if that. So it's pretty lax. But yeah, I'm going to jump in there in a little bit. I will definitely be here next weekend. I should commit to it and say I might be doing something a little bit different next weekend stream. We'll see. By saying that, I'm kind of committing to it because I've kind of been overwhelmed with a lot of stuff and putting stuff off. But I might try something a little bit different next week. So we'll see. I'll let you know midweek if that's still the case. And if you want to figure out how you figure out what that's going to be, follow me on Twitter or join Discord. So anyways, thank you guys so much. There was follows, there was bits, there was a hype train, and there were subs, and there were renew subs. Thank you all so much. But most importantly, thank you for being here and spending an hour with me on Saturday. Greatly appreciated. I will be here next Saturday, and I might have something out for you this week. Ooh, right at the end, Pet Food Guy. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Retro Ogsan. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I'll be here next week. I might have something out for you this week, and I'll be in Discord voice here in about 5 minutes. Have a great weekend, and be good to each other. Take care, folks.